screen, okay? Yes, can you see my screen?
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay, so I've got a Xest project set up here. This is for demo. I also have my database with these tables: admins, employees, leave entitlement, leave requests, roles, and shifts. Okay, so now basically we're going to be creating an endpoint using the XX new command. Okay, so we want to query. Let's say we want to query shifts. Okay, so first thing we have to do is on our terminal, we just type XX new and we get a list of things we can do: an endpoint, migration, seed, or query. So we're creating an endpoint, okay? It gets endpoint to get all our shifts here, okay? So I'm going to select endpoint and it says what type of endpoint will this be? So there's get, post, put, delete, or all the above, okay? As we are getting all the shifts, I'm going to be selecting get, okay? It says what will be the main entity for this endpoint. Okay, now you can see all our tables: admins, employees, leave entitlement, leave request, migration, roles, and shifts. Okay, so because we're getting all shifts, we're going to select shifts. So it's going to ask, should this endpoint be paginated? So basically, we don't need it to be paginated. Okay, just want a simple get endpoint to get all the data. Okay, so I'm going to select no. So it asks select columns to filter. So these filters, do we want to filter the get endpoint? Do we want to get it by ID or description or start time? Yeah, we can select multiple or we can select one. Okay, so let's select ID. Okay, we want to get by the ID of the shift. Okay, so it takes all the columns here on the table on this. It takes all the columns here, right, and displays it to us here. Created that, deleted that, everything, and we're going to select ID. Okay, we want to get the shift by their ID, so we press enter. So it says select column for response. What columns do you want to receive in your response? Okay, we have description here. Again, we have them. So what do you want to receive when the user queries or when you query this endpoint? What do you want to receive? So we have description, start time, end time, is completed, employee ID. So I want to return all are selected now, but I don't want to return deleted that, updated that, just created that. Okay, so I'm going to press enter and it's going to create the endpoint for us. As you can see, some files are being created here. Okay, successfully generated, happy developing. Okay. Okay, so you can see I have an error. That's because I already created guest shift before, but don't worry. Let me go to my routes. My routes, okay. We're going to see a new route that was generated for us. Yeah, I'm going to scroll to the bottom. Yes, you can see the endpoint that was created for us, get shifts. Okay, it also includes a to-do add of middleware or any middleware you want to add to this endpoint, and it creates a controller for you, also an action. Okay, so it creates a controller called get shift and it creates an action called fetch shifts. Okay, you can see fetch shifts. You can see a new file. So now let's go into the endpoint to see the controller to see what's there. You can see shift is equals to await fetch shift, which is the action. So let's go to this fetch shift to see what's there. Yes. So this is the first shift. So it's selecting the shifts and passing the ID. Remember, we added ID as our filter. So it's passing the ID. And where did you get the ID from? Let's go back to get shifts. Okay, so I see here that there's we haven't gotten the ID. So I can just pick up the ID from the params, okay? The const ID is equals to second.
Is this because we generated them before?
Yeah. request params.id. Okay. So I'll pass the ID here. Okay. It's asking me to use the structuring. Okay. This is just ESLint. Okay. So fetch shift, I'll pass in the ID. Okay. Okay. One second. This is it here. So the one I created before doesn't take the ID because I intentionally removed out the ID because I wanted to fetch all shifts. Okay. So now I'm putting it back. Okay. Fetch shift. Fetch shift. Yes. Let's go to the action to see what happens. Okay. To see the query. So get shift. So you can see it also creates a schema for you, a validation schema. Yeah, so you can see the validation schema ID. It's a Ute schema. Okay, it checks if the ID is a number and also checks if it's a valid ID. It also does a test for you as well. So yeah, to catch errors on early stages. So after validating, it fetch the shifts. You can see here. So let's see that. Yeah. So this is the select shifts. Let's see. This is the query. So you can see select. So what we chose to select from shift where ID is equals to that ID. Yeah, that's basically it. So we've created this endpoint and we can pass the ID like this. Yeah. So let's do another XX command, okay? I need something unique. See. Okay. I think I don't have anything on admins. Good. So I have an admin table here, okay? So we're going to be getting admins by ID, okay? XX new again. We're going to create an endpoint, get admins, like we did. Should it be permitted? No. And we're filtering by ID and we're returning everything apart from deleted at. Okay, so let's check out. You can see it just created a route for us, admins. So it says get admins. So now let's create a post endpoint for admins. Maybe we want to create new admins in our app, okay? So we'll do XX new. What would you like to generate? An endpoint. So this time we want to create admins. So we select posts. What will be the main entity? Admins. So now we're going to tell what we want to insert. So we're basically going to insert just name and email, okay? We press enter and it creates the files for us. So you can see we got a new endpoint called router.post admins. Okay, post admins. The controller is here as well. So we're going to also create one for put to update our admins. Maybe we want to allow our admins change their names. Okay. So XX new again. We would like to generate an endpoint. This will be put admins and not the ID, but this time we want them to update their name, only their names. Okay, name. 1 second. Also, we need to filter by, we need to filter. Maybe we want to update by the ID or by the name, and I have selected name. So when we update it, we need to pass the name. Okay, so where this admin made my name is John. So if you find the name John, we update that person's name. Okay, yeah. So now what do we want to update? Just name. Yeah. We use the space bar to select. Okay. All right then. 1 second. Okay, now let's try our get admins endpoint. Okay, let's go to Postman to test our get admins endpoint. Okay, so I've got my Postman set up here. Okay, get admins, and we can see that ID is part of the params. Okay, so I can add the ID here as 1. 1 second. Let me just confirm my route. Okay, okay. ID. Okay, yeah, we can see. So we return the ID with the we return the admin with the ID of 1. Okay, so now let's try to, yeah, and then check our table. You can see 2 says Sarah Wilson. So we got Sarah Wilson. Okay, so we can also use xxnew to create endpoints like to filter by email. Okay, and if we have more complicated tables, we can get by their ID, by their maybe age, anything, just select there on the xxnew command. Okay, so another thing we can do with xxnew command, apart from endpoints, you can see a list here. We can also create a migration. Okay, so let's try to create a migration. Okay, for example, let's say we want to add something to this table, maybe age to the admins table. Okay, a new migration. Okay, so we can say, you can select migration. What is changing with this migration? Maybe say add age to admins. Okay, so it's created our migrations for us. I'm just gonna take my terminal down so I can show you. Let's close this. So if you check our migration SQLs, if you go, you can see it creates the up migration and down migration for you. Okay, now we have to come here and then replace with our own SQL command. So what we want to do is that we want to add a column. Okay, we want to alter the table and add a column called age. Okay, to this. So I usually like to test my queries on Beekeeper before putting them on Zest, just to make sure everything is okay. Okay, does it make sense? Do you have any questions so far?
No, everything is perfect. I understand everything. Very well
Super.
explained.
Okay, super. Auto table, that means add 1 second. We said we want to add age, and age should be, I think, an integer. So if you see this folder, yeah, you can see all my migrations here. Leave requests down, leave entitlements, employees, everything. Yeah, you see? Yeah. Yep. So we've added age to the admins. Okay. Can you see? So since this query works, I can just copy it and we can paste it here. Okay, in the up, and we also have to write it down for this as well. So let's move to a new xx command. So we can say xx new, and let's see what it has in store for us. So we can create seed data and also create a query. Okay, so in some situations, you just want to make a specific query as a helper for yourself, maybe to get for example, we want to get the end time for a shift or the start time for a shift, things like that. So we can use in different parts of our script, okay, to perform business logic. So we can add queries. So if you check, I have a folder called queries. I use the Xest command to create these queries. Okay. So let's create a query in our SRC. So it asks what operation will this query perform. So your query can perform select, insert, update, delete. Okay, let's say we want to, I have leave entitlement here. I think I've done that already. Okay, no, I have leave entitlement here, and I want a query whereby when a user requests a leave, I deduct the leave in entitlement, or insert a value into leave entitlement. Okay, so I'm going to select insert. So select a table, leave entitlement. What is the name of the entity queried? So the name is days remaining. Nice. So it has created the query for us. Insert days remaining. Can you see? Can you see it's created the query for us here? Yeah. And there's one more xx new command. Xx new, sorry. Xx new. The seed. To select a table, we have to create seed data for some projects so we can test our application to see if it's working as expected. So let's select admins. How many seed records do you want? Let's say 3. Okay, okay. So it's generating random things from faker.js. Okay. So let's select this. Lead time. It's okay. Admins deleted that. Okay. Admins updated that. Okay. So it has created seed data for us, 3 seed data. So if you go to your seed folder, database, seed data, you can check to see admins. Yeah, it's great seed data for you. Yeah, so with these commands, you can essentially build your API faster, create seed data, create queries, create multiple type of endpoints, even delete endpoints as well. And then you can go your way to modify this endpoint to suit your requirements. If it doesn't fit your requirement or it doesn't do exactly what you want it to do, Yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask, okay?
No, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that will save lots of time. And
Okay,
thank you for explaining. It was very well like explained. So like thanks for that.
no problem. You're very welcome.
Okay. And one more thing, when you make changes to the seed data or the migration files, you might need to run execfresh multiple times before it picks up the changes. Okay, something to bear in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. Thanks for
Cool.
listening.
Thanks all.